hitting team in the National League, the Colorado Rockies. We welcome you to Turner Field in Atlanta. The Colorado Rockies, NL West leaders, in town for a brief two-game series against the Atlanta Braves. Good evening, everybody. Bob Rathman, Jeff Torborg, and a welcome to Braves baseball tonight on Turner South. Jeff, you mentioned last week that when the Braves got their top three hitters back in the lineup, Marcus Giles, Edgar Renteria, and Chipper Jones, that would take some of the pressure off the young people in the bottom of the lineup. You said it might take a couple of days, but we saw that come to fruition yesterday.
Well, when you get your lineup changed around where you have your big guns back, everybody else seems to relax. It becomes a contagious thing. And what happened yesterday, Jeff Francoeur had a fantastic day. The fourth inning, we noticed that he drove in 2 runs with his base hit. In the 6th, he hits a shot out of here for 2 more runs. He had 4 hits and 5 at-bats, 5 RBIs yesterday. Behind him, Brian McCann, of course, has been doing a tremendous job behind the plate. Yesterday, got 2 more hits, is over 300 with his batting average, just a solid player. And Ryan Langerhans, because of the addition or reinforcement, I should say, the 1, 2, and 3 parts in the order, has dropped back in the lineup, gets 2 more hits yesterday, drives in a run. So now the full lineup has this feeling that it's working together. And the young kids now feel they don't have to carry all the load.
And tonight, Tim Hudson will go to the mound for Atlanta, looking to continue this newfound momentum. Right-hander Jason Jennings will be on the hill for the Colorado Rockies. When we come back, we'll meet the rest of tonight's starting lineups, and we'll have the first pitch for you from Atlanta. It's the Braves and Rockies next on Turner South. And by LoJack Stolen Vehicle Recovery System. For the first day of May, a beautiful evening for baseball. Not a cloud in the sky here at Turner Field as the Colorado Rockies come in. Their starting lineup brought to you by your Southeast Toyota dealer. Finds the hot-hitting Garrett Atkins in the cleanup position. The Colorado third baseman has homered twice in his last 4 games, and he's the 6th leading overall hitter in the National League. Leading the National League on the road. Facing Tim Hudson, making his 6th start.
Hudson is known as a guy with electric stuff. He's got a sinker ball that really he relies on. Excellent changeup, slider, and splitter. But he has to command his pitches in order to be successful, which is true of just about every other pitcher that ever lived. But especially in his case, he's got to stay down in the zone.
An opening strike to Corey Sullivan. Left-handed batting center fielder, hitting .327. 10 doubles and 4 triples already this season. Renteria.
Well, there's what a sinker baller needs, and that's a good defense behind him. He feels confident that he could throw anything down in the around the plate. Doesn't have to be, especially on the corners, because you'll get the ground balls if you've got the good defense behind you. Edgar Renteria is so smooth. You look up and he's in front of the ball. You say, how did he even get there?
Shortstop Clint Barnes. Hitting .262. Rockies come in having won 4 straight games. This past weekend, a 3-game sweep in Florida. Right field and Francoeur. 2 up and 2 down. Speaking of Jeff, a tremendous catch to end the game yesterday. 8-5 victory over the Mets. He is joined in the outfield with Langerhans and Andrew. Chirpers at third, Renteria, Giles up the middle, Roach at first base tonight, McCann catching, and Hudson pitching. Left fielder Matt Holliday next to bat for Colorado. Tim Hudson, 5 pitches, 5 strikes. Holiday leads this ball club in RBIs with 24. Rockies 15 wins and 10 defeats. Mr. Hudson putting together a very impressive first inning against the men of Clint Hurdle.
Not only is he throwing strikes, but he's throwing low strikes. He's keeping the ball down, and they're now having to swing at that ball down there. You know, Bob, you've heard the term wild in the strike zone. People don't understand what that is. That normally means might be a strike, but it's up in a hittable area. That low strike zone, boy, that is tough to get anything up in the air.
Oh, the changeup got him swinging. And that is it for the Rockies in the first inning. Holiday strikes out. Hudson with a 1-2-3 first. The batting order tonight for the Braves, brought to you by your Southeast Toyota dealers. Edgar Renteria in that two-hole playing shortstop has hit safely in 15 straight games this season and 16 straight over the past 2 years. And he's had great success against the Colorado starter Jason Jennings, making his 6th appearance. All starts previously. And his scouting report, Jeff Torborg.
Well, he's big. We talked about 6'2", 245 is big, strong sinker baller. Changeup is his second best pitch. Gets himself into trouble when he starts nibbling. That could be that Colorado light altitude effect. And he's gotten over the years a little bit more of a nibbler.
Sounded like a busted bat. Pop into right. Brad Hawp over and in. Takes care of it. 1 gone. In 30 innings, Jason Jennings has allowed 36 hits and 15 walks. And the ERA is 6.60. But the one number that jumps out at you that we do not have listed on his statistical profile here is the average for right-handed batters against Jennings this season, an astronomical 431. And here's a guy at the plate, Renteria, who has owned this guy. Edgar is 8 for 13 in his career against Jennings.
You know, you think about why would he be more effective, so much more effective against left-handers? Well, one of the reasons is he's a sinker baller. That ball moves away from left-handers, back into right-handers. He has a little trouble with his breaking ball. That's not his second best pitch. The changeup is, and the changeup is more effective to left-handers. That too moves away from a left-hander into a right-hander. His flat slider gets him into trouble against right-handers.
Toward the hole, Barmas backhands, plants and throws. Safe. Infield hit for Renteria. The hitting streak goes to 16 this season. For the Rockies defensively, Corey Sullivan is the middle outfielder, flanked by Matt Holliday and Brad Hawp. Garrett Atkins and Clint Barmas on the left side of the infield. Luis Gonzalez and Jason Smith on the right side. Danny Ardoin is the catcher. And Chipper Jones into bat for Atlanta. Renteria at first and 1 away. Chipper starts the week hitting .244, a couple of home runs and 10 RBIs. Hitless yesterday with a couple of strikeouts. Chipper was 2 for 12 against the Mets.
You know, Bob, it is such a different look with big number 10 in that lineup. And even if he's not been tearing the cover off the ball, and of course he did hit a home run against the Mets, he gives the opposition manager and battery something to really think about.
One and two. Lance Barksdale calls the balls and strikes tonight. Jim Joyce, Ed Hickox, and Doug Eddings on the bases. I wonder, Jeff, if it went through Chipper's mind to maybe turn around and bat right-handed against this guy tonight. With all the success that the right-hand hitters have had against Jennings.
Well, some guys will do that. You know, switch hitters will do that against the knuckleballer for some reason. Of course, the ball does dance around and they feel more comfortable or see the ball better one way than the other. If you remember early in Chipper's career, he was so much better hitter left-handed than he was right-handed, but then he's kind of caught up. But in this case, he's got to go to a side that he really feels comfortable on, and he knows he wants to see the ball breaking one way. He doesn't like to see the ball breaking away from him if he can help it. So that would be an argument in your favor because that changeup does break away from him a little bit. That sinker does break away from him, but it's not like a big breaking ball. That's the difference. Something that goes swinging around through the strike zone, somewhat like a frisbee. If he were hitting there right-handed, he'd feel like his rear end was down in the third base coach's box, I'm afraid.
Second baseman Gonzalez. Safe at first. Renteria forced 4-6. 2 outs. Chipper replacing Renteria at first base. Andrew Jones last April, only 3 home runs and a .239 average. This April, a different story. In .281 with 8 homers and 23 RBIs. And keep in mind, Andrew has not hit a home run nor driven in a run in his last 8 games, and still a very productive month of April.
Plus, after seeing that, what he did last April and end up with 51 home runs, wow.
Past the pitcher. Gonzalez to first, and the first is over. Braves get a hit, leave a man at the end of 1 against Jason Jennings. No score. Hey fans, if a runner is caught stealing during the LoJack caught stealing inning, you could have a chance to win a LoJack stolen vehicle recovery system. Log on to www.lojacksweepstakes.com for details and to enter for your chance to win the LoJack caught stealing inning. Brought to you by LoJack. Tim Hudson to Garrett Atkins as the second inning begins. The former UCLA standout hitting at .347, number 6 in the National League with 4 home runs. And he hits one high and deep to center field. Andrew going back, still on the track, now turns to catch. First out in the second. Atkins hit it well, but to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Boy, you get a feeling, especially if you're sitting in the other dugout, that if the ball stays in this ballpark, he catches it. The amazing thing is how effective he is on balls in front of him. You feel like you can't even get dunk shots in front of him. And then you turn around and watch him run back to the wall, and you'll be standing there when the ball comes down.
Brad Hawpe takes strike 1. Hudson missing inside. Brad Hawpe hitting .362. That's second in the National League, and .431 on the road. The rest of his National League ranks, he's been red hot on this road trip that for Colorado started last week in Philadelphia and then extended to Florida. Brad Hawpe on the trip is 12 for 25. It's a remarkable turnaround so far this season for this Colorado team, because traditionally they have been a very weak road team, but that's not the case for Clint Hurdle's Rockies so far this season. They've got the best road record in baseball at 10-3. Quite a change from last year when they opened the season losing 15 of their first 16 on the road. Did he go? No swing. It's ball 4 for Hawpe. Not only have the Rockies been winning on the road, Jeff, they've been crushing the baseball.
Well, their numbers are incredible. Normally, it's always out of whack when they're playing at home in Denver. The numbers are always unbelievable. They're like this. And now it's just the other way around, which is hard to imagine. Of course, baseball is like that.
Jason Smith bouncing one to first, out there, tag, there, double play. That's it for the Rockies in the second. A 3-6 double play. He erases the walk. We go to the bottom of the second. And Rockies head to the bottom of the second inning. 0-0 game, and Adam LaRoche ready to go against Jason Jennings. Jeff, you talked earlier about how the 6, 7, and 8 hitters responded so favorably yesterday. Here's another guy the Braves need to get going, and that's Adam LaRoche.
You know, there's been so much talk about his not having faced left-handers much during his first 2 years of his major league career, and yet this year he's 2 for 7 against left-handers.
Second baseman Gonzalez takes care of Adam. He went 0 for 7 against the Mets last weekend. 1 up and 1 down, and that brings up Jeff Francoeur. Quite a day here yesterday against the Mets. Tied his career high with 4 hits. Set a new career high with 5 RBIs in the game. And you mentioned it earlier, Jeff, in our open. The home run that he hit to left center was absolutely crushed.
Well, a lot of times the shots that you see on television, unless you're up close to somebody, you don't realize how big they are and how strong they are.
This is going to be a tough play for Barmes with Francoeur's speed, but he got him. 2 gone.
What I started to say was that even though Jeff goes flying down the line here when he hits this chopper, you got to understand this is a big kid. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. Great tools, and you can see how he hustles so much down the line. He makes this close.
Brian McCann. Five hits in his last 9 at bats. The season average at .308. One and 1. 2 outs, bases empty. The Rockies' only visit to Atlanta during the regular year. Final game of the series tomorrow night. 7:30 tomorrow night on Turner South as Aaron Cook pitches against Jorge Sosa. And then the Braves head out on yet another long road trip. Liner past first. That's going to be a fair ball and went over the glove of Jason Smith. McCann holds at first as Hoff comes up with the carom.
Bob, I think this has got to have hit Smith's glove for that to be a fair ball, because that ball really did land in foul ground. Take another look at this. This ball's a little elevated. It had to hit his glove. Yes, it did. Good call by the umpire, because for a ball to go that far foul, you're just saying, or that far on that side of the foul line, you say it had to touch the glove, because if not, it would have been a foul ball.
So a single for McCann brings up Langerhans. Two hits on Sunday and an overall average of .296. Brave victory yesterday snapped a 5-game losing streak. Pulled Atlanta within 6 of the Mets in the NL East.
You know, it's fun to watch from the center field camera, the pitches, the way they move. And you can watch when you have a sinker baller like Jennings, if he gets the ball up in the zone, he's hittable. Down in the zone, you see all these little choppers.
Three balls, no strikes.
Some of the pitches are so tough, so difficult to discern what they are unless you could see the radar gun reading. That last one was a changeup because it had the same action as a sinker.
Langerhans taking all the way, 3-1.
He'd like to have that same location again. You can hear Bobby Cox in the background encouraging his team.
All 4. So after 2 outs and nobody on, McCann with the hit off the glove of Jason Smith, and now the walk to Langerhans. Pitching coach Bob Apodaca looking on because Jason Jennings does not have an easy out here at the plate in the pitcher Tim Hudson.
Oh, we've said that a number of times. Traditionally, with the pitching staff, especially the starting pitchers, with the Braves over the years, have really helped themselves with the bat.
No. 0-1. '27-year-old Jason Jennings making his 6th start for the Rockies. The Dallas, Texas native delivers. And Tim's down 2 strikes. Brian McCann, the lead runner for the Braves at second base. Langerhans first. Hudson down 2 strikes. Trying to make contact here.
I think if you're Tim Hudson here, you can look for the ball out over the plate. I don't think they're going to mess around with anything inside. They're going to try to just keep that ball away from him, hoping that he'll reach and miss the ball. So if you're Tim Hudson, just try to take the ball back to the middle. That's easy for a guy who's sitting up here in the booth who was a lousy hitter. But this game has gotten a lot easier the farther I've gotten away from the dirt.
So Ardoin to check in with Jennings here.
It also might be a little tough to see still because you've got the pitcher, Jennings, is in the sunlight. And of course, in the backdrop behind him, behind center field, is dark now, but it might be a little difficult to see.
Off the middle. Farmer's dodge, can't get it. Here comes McCann around third. The throw will go to second. Safe. 1-0 Atlanta. So Tim Hudson comes through. And McCann in the dugout with the Braves' first run.
Bob, I don't believe this. They tried to go inside. Why would they try to go in? He didn't come within a foot of the pitch that was low and away. They tried to come inside. See where the catcher set up? Gave him a pitch that he could handle in the middle of the plate.
Braves say thank you. And Marcus Giles takes away.
Well, I know sitting up here, and if we were talking about hindsight, you say, well, that was a second guess. But we said we didn't think they'd go inside. They tried to go in and gave him a pitch to hit.
Giles with a fly ball to right field in the first. If you look at the numbers over the weekend, Giles was 1 for 13 in the New York series. And then the 2-run single yesterday was robbed a couple of times. He's been hitting in some tough luck recently.
Well, Friday night he hit 3 rockets all around the ballpark off of Pedro Martinez. This little guy, when he gets going, is a dangerous hitter. When he first came to the big leagues, we were trying to figure out how to get him out. We knew he had good pop for a little guy, especially to right field, which is amazing. So we said, you've got to keep the ball down to him out there because he'll hit the ball up out there. We found out later on that he can handle the ball down also and drive it to right field.
To right. Coming over to catch the liner is Brad Hall. Braves settle for 1 run on 2 hits. Braves leave it bare, but Tim Hudson knocks in the lead run. 1-0 Braves over the Rockies, top half of the 3rd inning. The LoJack caught stealing inning is coming up, brought to you by LoJack. Kathy Cobbs is our lucky LoJack caught stealing contestant of the night. If the Braves catch the opponent's runner stealing this inning, Kathy Cobbs wins a LoJack stolen vehicle recovery system. So good luck to Kathy Cobbs. Rockies will have the 7, 8, and 9 hitters up against Tim Hudson, Luis Gonzalez, Danny Ardoin, and Jason Jennings. Luis Gonzalez has found a home here in Colorado. Rockies got him from the Cleveland organization in the Rule 5 draft in December of '03. And has hit .282 in back-to-back seasons for Colorado. Very versatile player. Andrew backtracking. First out.
Boy, is he fun to watch. You know, I was a Giant fan growing up as a kid, and then playing against the Giants. Of course, I wasn't a fan any longer, being with the Dodgers. But just watching Willie Mays play was just, you know, was just breathtaking. Watching Andrew play is the same way. I mean, they're in a league all by themselves. It's like it's his field, and he's letting everybody else play on it.
Just off the plate to Danny Ardoin. Hitting .173. Louisiana native. Toiled for many years in the minor leagues, did Ardoin. Got into 15 games with Minnesota in 2000. 6 games with Texas in '04. Lines this one to left. Langerhans. 2 gone. And the pitcher, Jason Jennings, coming up next. The Braves Clubhouse Collection has a special offer for Mother's Day. $1 from the purchase of this special ladies shirt and cap will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. In addition, if you purchase $50 or more, you will receive a special MLB pink ribbon jewelry box while supplies last. To place an order or to request a copy of the catalog, call 1-800-433-BRAVES or visit the Braves Clubhouse store at CNN Center. Jason Jennings.
Bob, Jason Jennings is a very good hitting pitcher. Lifetime, I think he hits about 240, 243. Was a DH in college at Baylor. The first time I saw this kid was 2001, come to pitch against the Montreal Expos. And I watched him drive the ball to the plate, and then when he came up to hit, I couldn't believe that he was a pitcher. He had a great stroke.
That year you mentioned 2002 National League Rookie of the Year for Jennings. First player in Rockies history to win that honor. His first year won 16 games. He got up for 7 games at the tail end of '01. A 16-game winner in 2002. And has won 50 games in his Colorado career, and there's a base hit to right. Just what you were talking about, Jeff. Pulled that one between Giles and LaRoche.
He lifts his leg like an everyday player. You know, he's one of these guys that looks like he likes to hit, and you can see he's got those great big strong looking legs, and he's got a nice stroke. He doesn't get cheated. He was in a hitter's count 3-1, got the pitch he wanted, but as I mentioned, the first time I saw him come to the big leagues, a young kid, we didn't know what to expect pitching wise, but then to see him swing the bat the way he did, that was a surprise.
Corey Sullivan. We mentioned earlier he's tied for the league lead with triples, 4 to date. Lines one, and a diving grab by Marcus Giles. Rob Sullivan of a hit. More good defense on this homestand by the Braves. Marcus Giles taking this one away from Corey Sullivan.
Turner South, your South.
Jeff, Marcus Giles has had enough hits taken away from him lately. He returns the favor and a great catch.
I'll say it's a great catch. This is a line drive bullet, and he goes about 3 steps and dives and is fully extended. That is a great play.
The D this weekend has been outstanding. Remember this play from Friday night, John Smoltz? Fantastic. McCann throwing out Reyes. And then to end the game yesterday, Jeff Francoeur. So Gilly adds his name to the ledger. And Edgar Renteria takes ball one from Jason Jennings. An infield hit in the first inning, stretching his hitting streak this season to 16. And 17 games over 2 years. Last season, his last game for Boston, he got a hit. And the research today the Braves provided us. The last Brave to open the season with a 15-game hitting streak was Felipe Alou in 1966. The current San Francisco manager hit in 16 straight games, so Edgar has matched that tonight.
You know, Bob, on Friday night when he first came back, his first at bat, and remember he had that rib injury. He was farther away from the plate than he is now, and he couldn't reach the ball against Pedro. And I see he's made an adjustment. Maybe Terry is the reason. Terry Pendleton, the hitting coach, but he's a little closer to the plate. I would think that that would be the kind of injury that would really have a mental effect. I think it's just that when you see a hitter make adjustments, he's got a closed stance, and I believe his front foot is closer to home plate than it was Friday night.
Barnes waits for the hop, has to deliver it quickly to first, and Renteria is retired. One gone. And Chipper Jones.
You know, as a former catcher, one of the things you always were taught as a catcher was when you squatted down, you tried to judge where the hitter stood, how he approached each pitch, where his stride went. And there are certain hitters that move around in the batter's box, so you have got to adjust defensively.
Busted bat, and a base hit to right center field for Chipper. That's the fourth hit tonight for the Braves. Now that bat died a hero. Chipper with the base knock. He had a couple of hits in the New York series and now leads at first, and Andrew Jones steps in. Grounded to second in the first inning. Lost his balance down to one knee.
His backswing also got the catcher Adwan. That's what you've got to be careful of. There are certain hitters that release with their top hand and the bat comes swinging around. So as a catcher, you have to watch out. He got hit up in the shoulder area. Fortunately, he didn't get hit in the shoulder. Got more of the shoulder. I shouldn't call it a shoulder pad, but they are shoulder pads. Yeah.
Foul tip secured by the Colorado catcher. 0-2.
You know, in the old days, you never had a flap over your throwing shoulder. They said it would get in the way, but now the catchers have these little flaps that stick out from the chest protector that keep those foul tips off the points of the shoulder, which, boy, could they hurt.
At one point in your career, you had a lot of dealings with equipment and improvements thereof.
Yeah, I couldn't do much with a bat, so I tried to help the equipment reinforcement and design with the extension. I put the extension on the mast, the first extension on the bottom of the mast. For umpires had him in first, but then I put him in later on with McGregor and Wilson. I also put extra length on the top of the shin guards when you bent down, because some of the old shin guards, when you used to bend down, would pull down in the top of your I don't want to say it was the top of your knee, but it was really more the top of the bottom of your thigh where you could get foul tips. So I added a piece up there, but I fooled around with different types of equipment.
Farmas. Gonzalez. Safe at first. Not a double play ball. Farmas had to wait on it. And Andrew did a good job getting out of the box quickly.
You know, I get a kick out of that's Bobby here. Bobby is really into it. He's helping the umpires out from the dugout. You can tell that he's very involved. You know, a lot of times you don't realize how much the manager is pulling for his team and encouraging, and also having a running discussion with some umpires.
LaRoche 0 for 1.
Come on, Adam.
Andrew at first and 2 gone. 1-0 Braves, 3rd inning. Speaking of Bobby Cox, it was interesting after the game yesterday when Bobby was meeting with the reporters, and the big theme yesterday driven by the media was, oh, what a big win this is, and you didn't get swept by the Mets, and what a big game even though it's April. And Bobby says without flinching, they're all big. Tomorrow night's game with Colorado is a big game.
Well, he's right. That's what managers think about, one at a time. Yeah, you can go ahead and sweep your closest rival, maybe a 3-game series, and turn around and go against the ball club that you should beat. Of course, I'm not so sure there's anybody out there you should beat, but you think you should beat. Now you lose to them, you lose all the ground that you gain.
Rotate.
2-1. Slow starts has been the norm for Adam. He's hitting 200 coming into this game. Last April, he hit 214. And the year before that in April, 206. Andrew fakes the go. And LaRoche sitting in a good hitter's count, 3-1. He has been susceptible to the strikeout, 28 coming in the top 3 in the National League. But he's got a hitter's count working in his favor.
What impresses me with Adam is that he is such a relaxed hitter. And even though he's struggling and has been struggling this entire month, he hasn't changed very much. He's just trying to find his timing. He's got what you call a pretty swing. He doesn't try to muscle the ball.
And draws a walk. That will get Francoeur to the plate with runners at first and second. Second walk allowed by Jennings. Francoeur 0 for 1 on the heels of the big day yesterday against the Mets. Aggressive early in the count is his track record. Swings at 54% of first pitches, #1 in the National League.
He's consistent, isn't he? Had to laugh when you said that. It made me think that he's aggressive in every count.
Yeah, that's true. .101 plate appearances, 0 walks this year. Now he's down 2 strikes. This is where Jeff has really struggled. The 2-strike counts. When the opposition gets him to 2 strikes, he's just 1 for 34.
Well, that's probably one of the reasons he swings on the first pitch, too. He doesn't want to get to 2 strikes. But most hitters have problems when they get to 2 strikes. They have to shut it down a little bit.
And chased a breaking ball away. That is the first strikeout for Jason Jennings. And he keeps it a 1-0 Atlanta advantage. brought to you by Singular, raising the bar, and by Coca-Cola. Monday night at Turner Field in Atlanta. Bob Rathman, Jeff Torborg. Pleasure to have you with us tonight. Tim Hudson has stopped the Rockies on 1 hit through the first 3 innings. 2-3-4 up to face him here in the 4th inning. Clint Parmas leads it off. Jeff, we've talked about Colorado's success this season, and has come primarily on the road with a record of 10-3. This one hit toward the right field corner, bending toward the seats. Frenchie reaches down and makes the catch. He was running out of room quickly. Great concentration.
Boy, is this valuable for a team to have a right fielder that can run like this. He's got the great arm. We all know the right fielder needs a great arm, but to have this kind of speed over there also, to get over to the foul line, to the wall, that is big. It might have meant the ball game yesterday as we saw the highlight.
Matt Holliday fouling it off. When people were talking about Francoeur's struggles at the plate, I think a lot of people forgot how valuable he is in the outfield with the arm and the legs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what Bobby Cox said about him. When we asked him would there be a time that you'd want to rest him to clear his head, he said he's too good defensively to take him out of the game. That's a compliment.
Holliday struck out swinging in the first inning. Now 2-1. We're talking about the Colorado success on the road. Uncanny, because this is a franchise that coming into the season was 238 games under 500 in the history of the franchise. As a skipper, Jeff, were there some things that you would go through with your ball club to try to get some success on the road that you might not do at home?
Well, you might play a little more of the inside game if you had to. As we talked to Bobby Cox the other night, Friday night, how they were going to approach Pedro Martinez. They had to play a little closer to the vest, play a little bit more conservatively. Maybe if you're not having very much luck on the road, maybe you play for one at a time. Try to get the lead, try to add on. But the Rocky team has been just tremendous offensively on the road, where in the past, because of that ballpark out in Colorado where the ball carries so well, it seemed like they were built for that ballpark and not built for the road.
This ball club well under 500 overall each of the past 2 seasons, but started to turn things around last year in the second half. Ball 4. Matt Holliday accepts the second walk-off Tim Hudson. The Clint Hurdle's team played good baseball in that second half last season. They had just a horrible start, and that buried their season. But last year, they didn't win their 10th road game until July 22nd. Inside to Garrett Atkins.
Well, there have been teams in the past that are built for their park. If you remember, for years, the Boston Red Sox were so tough at Fenway, they go on the road and they couldn't defend the field. Part of that was defensive deficiencies, where they had big power hitters. One thing about a team that can go defend the field, the Braves, of course, were #1 in the National League defensively last year. You can play and win anywhere, and yet even the Braves were more effective at home.
Again, Hudson misses inside. 2-0.
Well, it's interesting how Hudson and McCann are working Atkins. Atkins has a wide open stance and kind of dives back on the plate. So the first 2 pitches to him in this at bat, they're trying to run the ball inside on him, hoping he'll dive into the ball. An open stance is one where that left foot for a right-handed hitter is closer to third base than the plate. You know, you have pitches of the 80s and 90s, like the split finger, like the circle change. Well, the stance of this last couple decades basically has been an open stance. It's gone from a parallel stance, before that a closed stance like Rennereader uses, to an open stance.
Why the change?
I think one of the things, you can see the ball better. And a lot of hitting coaches put their hitters in this position thinking that they could open them up, they could see the ball, it would make them come back to the ball. When you start with a closed stance, a lot of times you pull off the ball. Your front shoulder comes out, your head comes out. This way keeps your head on the ball a little bit more.
Runner moving. Throw down. Quick tag by Giles safe. 3-2 on Atkins.
Well, this was a quick release by Brian McCann. He wasn't even trying to get it on the fly. He's just trying to get it off, because I think the base runner surprised him. But see, he just got it off. But this is a great play by Giles. He stayed with it and almost had the play. He took the one-hop throw, stayed on the base, and almost had Matt Holliday. I think Holliday just surprised everybody. They didn't think he would attempt to run there.
Payoff. Foul.
That's what happens sometimes with ball clubs. The first base coach will have the stopwatch. You'll see how fast the pitcher is to the plate. Now, if you get a feeling, I should say, that they're not paying attention. There's Dave Collins, the first base coach, with a stopwatch. If you get a feeling that the pitcher is not paying attention, you can jump and get a lead and get a good jump and get a good head start and then be able to steal a base you might not otherwise do.
And a dribbler to Coach Collins. Count remains at 3-2. Dave Collins, a great base stealer in his day, had 60 in 1 year.
Yes, he was. Started out with the Angels, ended up with, I was coaching with the Yankees when he came over. Really worked hard, and you can see he's really in the game. He's one of these guys that really is very intense, even as a coach.
Atkins hitting .419 with runners in scoring position. Takes ball 4, back-to-back walks. And some problems for Tim Hudson and the Braves. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Atlanta Braves. The red-hot Brad Hawpe steps in. First and second, one gone. Tim Hudson with his first tight spot of the game. Hawpe has been terrific, hitting .362 overall, .431 on the road. Leads the league in hits. Went around 0-2.
Now here's another open stance. This being a left-handed hitter. Same way, they have approached the same open stance, even though it's a left-handed hitter, on the inside as well. But they've made 2 strike pitches now, where they did not do that with Atkins. They got behind. Now they can do a lot of things. They can throw change-ups, sinkers low and away. That's exactly what they did. You saw Brian McCann didn't want to set up too soon because there's a runner at second base, and he would show where the location was. So he waited around and kind of moved around, and then he got up and he got away. And they tried to get the ball down, hoping that a sinker low and away or a changeup low and away would be something that would entice a ground ball to the left side of the infield where they could turn a double play.
Coming in and just missing.
That's the pitch right there that Greg Maddux has made a living on and will go to the Hall of Fame as a result of throwing the ball from the inside back on the plate to a left-hander.
Took something off of it and got the strikeout. Second K for Tim Hudson. The 3, 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Colorado. A lot of pop. And you see what they've done this season. And the next man is the number 6 hitter, first baseman Jason Smith. Grounded into a double play in the second inning. Liner. Giles has it. Side retired. Hudson pitches around the 2 walks. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Check out our new and expanded service worldwide at delta.com/new cities. The setting sun over the city of Atlanta, 1-0. Braves on top, and here's Brian McCann leading things off. Singleton scored the lone run of this game back in the second. A liner that was cooking that went off the glove of the first baseman Smith and into foul territory. McCann eventually coming around on Tim Hudson's single to center. Brian with 6 hits in his last 10 at bats. Close games has been the story of the Braves season so far. 12 games have been decided by 1 run, 4 wins, 8 defeats. Down the line, Holiday coming over, but this into the seats. And 3-3 in 2-run games. So that's 18 of your first 24 decided by 2 runs or less. And 11 of the 14 defeats.
Step off for Mac.
3-2.
Well, if there's something you always try to keep positive, that would be something that you would preach with your ball club. Now, we'll never be intimidated by close games if we have a lot early, even though we've lost some. You know, you've played a lot. The clubs that worry you are the ones that beat the dickens out of people when they get their offense, but when it gets close, they can't do anything. They're not used to that. Now, this ball club has always been known to be able to play close to the vest.
Center field, pretty deep, but Sullivan. That fly ball flattened out shy of the track. 1 gone. Well, Brian McCann gave it a charge. Ryan Langerhans had a big day May 11th last season out in Denver. He hit not 1 but 2 home runs in that game against the Rockies for his career high. And Ryan Langerhans 2 for 4 that day against the Rockies with those 2 solo home runs. Walked his first time tonight and rips one into right for a base hit. Sliding is Hoff to cut it off, and the Braves have their 5th hit. Well, tonight, Jeff, we have 2 very good hitting pitchers, and Hudson helped his own cause in the 2nd inning.
Sure did, boy. If you're able to field your position and help yourself with a bat, you've got a chance, especially in the National League, to win a lot of games because of those abilities.
We've talked about Tim Hudson and his terrific collegiate career as a hitter. Now squaring around to bunt. Fouls this one off. But it is that ability not only to swing the bat, but in situations like this where you can get the bunt down, as you mentioned, field your position well. All these things add up to helping the ball club win games.
It does it ever. Friday night, John Smoltz got a bunt down with 2 strikes on him, almost nearly a perfect bunt.
3-4 sacrifice pushes Langerhans to second.
Well, there are several ways that are taught to bunt in the major league level. Squared around like this, or one with a drop step. The square around is one that's been taught for years, and you have to get the bat out in front of you, and this was a nice form. He got down low, got the bat at the top of the strike zone, so he didn't come up to the ball. If there's a high pitch, you come up to it, more often than not, you'll pop it up. So if you start high, then you get it down, and that was nice form by Tim Hudson.
Come on, kid.
Marcus 0 for 2. A fly ball and a line drive to right field. Trying to pick up Langerhans at second. Jason Jennings. on the mound for the Rockies.
Right on him,
And
kid.
bounced foul. Marcus was excited today as he was coming out from batting practice. His good buddy Jimmy Johnson won the rain-delayed Aaron's 499 over in Talladega this afternoon. He and Jimmy, high school classmates out in El Cajon, California. Liner left center, base hit. That's going to chase Langerhans home to make it 2-0. Marcus Giles with the RBI, 2-out single.
There's the pitch that we were talking about that Marcus, when he first came to the big leagues, really liked more often than not would be the pitch up. Now he handles the ball down as well, but he needed that. And Bob, what you just said, 2-out RBI. That's what wins games. That's what over the long haul wins championships.
And both Brave RBIs tonight with 2 outs, one by Hudson and now Marcus. Edgar Renteria 1 for 2. Renteria started the day hitting .365, the highest batting average for any player with a new team. And he stretched his hitting streak to 16 straight to start this season.
Yeah, just watching this pickoff move to first base by Jennings. In the old days, this would have been considered a balk because he's not stepping over to first. He's kind of spinning, and that's what they stopped him from doing for a number of years. Because, oh, that's interesting. Did you see Marcus's eyes trying to look in to see if he can see the pitch? When you get a base runner out there who has the ability to steal a base, he gets out, and you'll watch him kind of peek back at the catcher. If they can sneak out there, take a look in, and see a breaking ball or a changeup, look at him peek. He's peeking in.
He's running, and Renteria fouls it straight back.
In the old days, before they, of course, are not wearing sunglasses tonight, but in the old days when no one wore sunglasses, everybody who were trying to pick up signs did what Marcus did. They would squint so that you didn't see the whites of their eyes. Of course, in the daytime, when the guys wear these shiny sunglasses, you can't see the difference. But Marcus knows how to play this game, and he was looking to see if he could get an off-speed pitch. If he got the off-speed pitch, it meant it would take it longer to get to the plate, and also a chance of it being in the dirt, and that's when you take off.
Running again. Ardoin's throw, tag, out at second. Marcus caught stealing. Braves, though, pick up their second run on Marcus' RBI single to left center. And at the end of 4 in Atlanta, 2-0 Braves. Braves with a 2-0 lead over the Rockies here on Turner South as we head to the 5th inning. And the leadoff hitter for Colorado is Luis Gonzalez. And he fouls one out of play down to the first base side. Gonzalez is 0 for 1 with a fly ball to fairly deep center field back into third. Danny Ardoin is on deck, and then Jason Jennings. Tim Hudson crafting a one-hitter to date. Back-to-back walks in the 4th, but got out of it with a strikeout and a great catch by Marcus Giles. Here's the 0-1. From head to toe.
So they call a dirty ball player, knows how to play it.
Broken bat roller. Marcus with the flip. And there's one away. Two nothing Braves. Bob Rathbun, Jeff Torborg, Tim Hudson. How's it going tonight?
Yeah, he does. He's keeping the ball down. This is what he's got to do. We saw him at the end of spring training, very, very efficient. Then he struggled a little bit in L.A., and now he's come back and he's getting the ball where he wants it, down in the zone.
Catcher Danny Ardoin. Line to left his first time. This Rockies team came to Atlanta, the #1 hitting team in the National League. A .290 team batting average, and we showed you earlier all those great road numbers, but the Braves have had the antidote tonight. Tim Hudson
also had good defense. That, boy, is that a pleasure for a manager to know that, and for a pitcher. Pitcher can make his pitch, and he knows that his defense is going to be there for them.
Giles has made 2 outstanding plays. Francoeur had that running catch in foul territory.
Andrew Hall a couple down on the warning track. Edgar Renteria made a play behind second base. They all add up, so the pitcher feels confident that he can make the hitter hit the ball instead of trying to pitch around the bat. You've heard that term, pitch around the bat, trying to make him miss all the time. Make him hit your pitch.
Impressive. Beat the Rockies here last September. Had a rough outing in Denver back in May last season. The only 2 times he's faced the Rockies. Check swing. Another 2-2 coming up.
You know, it's amazing. You talk to some pitchers as they've gone along in their careers, and they might have been young strikeout pitchers. I remember talking one time with Ron Guidry with all the strikeouts and the big wins he had for the Yankees. Later on in his career, he started to learn he could get hitters out by throwing a slow curveball early, let them hit the ball, hit some ground ball. He said, boy, this is much easier than trying to strike everybody out.
Pitcher Jason Jennings on deck. Rockies batting in the 5th. First of a 2-game series. Colorado, the West leaders by a 1.5 games over San Francisco, and a swing and a miss for Tim Hudson's 3rd strikeout tonight. For every Braves run scored in tonight's game, Safe Auto Insurance will donate $50 to the Braves Foundation. Safe Auto Insurance, 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. They encourage you to get home safe. Jason Jennings hits one in the air to right center. Jeff Francoeur and Andrew Jones. It's Jeff's play to make, and the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down, halfway through this one from Turner Field in Atlanta. 2-0 Braves. Braves 2, Rockies nothing. Bottom of the 5th inning. Hey, reminder, friends, that Chop Talk makes an ideal gift for Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, or any other special occasion. Call 1-877-655-CHOP now to subscribe to Chop Talk, the official monthly magazine of the Atlanta Braves. Edgar Renteria left standing at the plate when Giles was thrown out stealing in the 4th inning, leads off the Atlanta 5th. And he has killed the Rockies in his career. Not only does he have great success against Jennings, 9 for 15 lifetime, he has tattooed Rocky pitching over the years. When a manager sees numbers like that, you might want to adjust the book on this guy. 0-1.
Sure, they tried. Just didn't work. The problem is you can't get the ball where you want it all the time.
Jennings has walked 2 tonight. 1 strikeout. That was Francoeur on 3 pitches. 3 breaking balls back in the 3rd inning. Fastballs here to Renteria.
You know, that's interesting. Those last 2 pitches were 4-seamers, cross-seamers, not sinker balls. It's almost like he's changed up his game plan now that he's gotten in the middle of the game.
2-2. Jennings, 27 years old, Dallas born, makes his home in Frisco, Texas. 1-2 lifetime against the Braves. The win was in his rookie of the year winning season of 2002. Renteria hanging in there.
You know, when Edgar first came up with the Florida Marlins, he hit everything right of second base. And he had that wrapping and bouncing motion with his bat like Gary Sheffield. Well, as his career and his maturity came along, he now uses the whole field, but he still has a little bit of that bat wiggle to get his trigger started.
Ooh, didn't miss by much.
But that's how you used to pitch him years ago constantly. You kept the ball inside like that all the time because of the closed stance and trying to go the other way. Here's that last pitch with the running motion in toward him. And there's the maturity you're talking about with selectivity at the plate.
In the air, right field corner, pretty deep. Hawk going back on the track, makes the catch. So some good deed turned in by the Rockies.
The scouting report on Opp is that he has gotten much better defensively. He was a pitcher in college as well as a hitter. But that's the toughest play for an outfielder, is a ball directly over your head, and he made that look easy.
Chipper singled to center his last time. 1 out, bases empty. Breaking ball, Tapper, tough play, and it rolls foul. Heads up, Ardoin to let it go. He could sense the spin.
That's right. That was heads up. Besides the fact he knew he couldn't get him. So you say, well, I just hope it bites and goes foul. You see Chipper getting out that left-handed batter's box, and he's hauling. Even if he comes, if that ball stays fair, or even if he gets it on the first hop, I don't think he'll get him. That's a tough play for a catcher. That's the one that you sometimes have to spin backwards around, and you come flying out of that, and your head's spinning, and your first base is moving, and you're trying to hit the guy covering first.
Oh, 2.
Right on it. Come on, Chip.
We mentioned about Ardoin when he came to bat earlier in the game, but a guy like that, age 31, he'll turn 32 this summer. And to finally make it in the big leagues last season with the Rockies, you really have to tip your cap to him
That base, Andrew.
for the stick-to-itiveness. 2 gone.
Also, a catcher that has the ability to catch and throw and handle a pitching staff is so valuable. You know, if you feel you have enough offense out in your field out there that you can take a catcher who maybe is not going to hit much for you, you would like to have that quarterback on the field that handles your staff well. Because really, that's the #1 responsibility of a catcher.
One ball, no strikes to Andrew. If you're just joining us tonight, Braves getting a run in the 2nd inning and an RBI single by Tim Hudson. Rolled to 3rd, and Atkins. Strong throw. Casey Smith reaching down to get it. And down go the Braves in the 5th inning. 2-0 Atlanta. Let's bring you up to date with what's happened so far tonight. Tim Hudson opened the scoring with a 2-out RBI single in the 2nd inning. He had scored Brian McCann. And the 4th, it was Marcus Giles with a base hit to left center, chasing home Ryan Langerhans. And on the mound, Tim Hudson has been outstanding. He has stymied a hot-hitting team on 1 hit through 5 innings with 3 strikeouts. Now Tim Hudson set to go in the top of the 6th. Corey Sullivan, Clint Barmas, and Matt Holliday, the top 3 hitters in the Colorado lineup. Not to jinx anything or anybody, but we should point out the Rockies have been shut out 1 time this season, and it surely was an odd game. It was back on April the 16th. They lost 1-0 at home to Philadelphia. The Phillies became the first team in the history of Coors Field to win 1-0. The Rockies have won a 1-0 game there. Brett Myers, who the Braves will see Wednesday night in Philadelphia, pitched the gem. Here's a little looper to right center. And it's going to be Andrew to take care of it.
In that ballpark, does that make the Hideo Nomo no-hitter seem incredible?
Tom Glavine pitched a shutout there. But to think that you can win a game 1-0 in that ballpark, either side, home or visitors, pretty crazy. Here's Barnes. Busted bat, Chipper diving to his feet. Nicely done. 2 up and 2 down. Chipper playing in on Barmes makes an outstanding play.
Nice play. Remember, he's coming back from a bad knee. It doesn't seem to bother him. He goes for that ball, and he's not even thinking about it. That's what a competitor does right there. Dive for a ball. If he's worried about that, there's no dive in that picture.
Bat goes sailing into the seats. The out is recorded by Giles, and let's hope everybody's okay behind the Colorado dugout.
K&G has over 4,000 men's suits in every store, starting at just $99.99. So you'll find what you're looking for, no matter what you're looking for. K&G Fashion Superstore. Call 1-800-GO-SHOP-KG.
After the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks, it's nice to come back to a place you love calling home. A home filled with furniture and floor covering from the campus. The Carpets Adult and American Home Showplace campus can decorate your home, from the plush carpet and area rugs to the ornate ceiling fans. From the leather sofa in your home theater to your top quality bedroom suite, from the kitchen to the condo, from the boardroom to the patio. Let our professional and knowledgeable staff at the campus help you complete your home, because the best team always wins.
I tried to put my own history into my artwork. The one piece that I'm most famous for is He Ain't Heavy. The theme is that those of us who have succeeded need to reach back and give a helping hand to others.
Every Sunday through Thursday at 11 Eastern, join FSN South for a journey throughout the region, featuring the people, the places, and the rivalries that define the culture of Southern sports. Around the South, every Sunday through Thursday night at 11 Eastern on FSN South.
Braves come to bat in the 6th. Adam LaRoche was walked and bounced out. Ready to lead things off against Jason Jennings. Opening game of this series. Final game of the homestand tomorrow. Aaron Cook, sinker baller, be pitching for the Rockies against Jorge Sosa, looking for his first win. 7:30 tomorrow night here on Turner South. Then the Braves head out of town. It's on to Philadelphia for a 2-game series with the Phillies. FSN South will have the coverage on Wednesday night. Adam takes ball 1. I know that it's you got to play 81 at home and 81 on the road, but the way they stack up sometimes is strange. The Braves will head to Shea to meet the Mets again for the 3rd time in 3 weeks. Just very strange schedule. Road trip, 2 in Philly, 3 in New York, an off day next Monday, and then 3 down in Miami against the Marlins. The 1-1. The Mets are losing tonight, by the way, 1-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning at Shea. Washington in town. That's their 2nd trip to New York this season. They opened the campaign there. 2-2. Florida with Dontrell Willis on the mound, leading Philadelphia 5-1 at the end of 5. St. Louis and Cincinnati tied for the Central Division lead. It's 17-8. That's a 2-1 Reds lead in the 6th inning. Smith handles it. And there's one gone. This month, baseball returns to Fox for another year of great moments from some of the game's biggest stars. Showdowns between the fiercest rivals and incredible moments that turn players into legends. The Fox Saturday Baseball Game of the Week returns May the 20th, only on Fox. Frenchie's 0 for 2. He's grounded to short and struck out swinging. The K back in the 3rd inning. Jeff came with 2 men on. And they gave him a steady diet of breaking balls. Shows bunt. Couldn't get it. 0-1.
Well, it also shows that the Rockies have the same stats that we all do about what Jeff Francoeur does in that first pitch. So they're not going to give him a fastball on the first pitch that he can tattoo. So they go up there and figure, well, he's going to be swinging. Let's make him swing at a breaking ball.
Another bender. Right back to Jennings. Quickly 2 up and 2 down. So quickly 2 gone, and Brian McCann. Average up to 313. Right field, pretty well hit. One hops the wall. McCann digging. The throw is a good one, and the tag is right there, and McCann is out. Beautiful throw by Brad Hawk from right field. McCann, a single and then thrown out at second base. That's it for the Braves in the 6th inning. And at the end of 6, Atlanta 2, Colorado nothing. Two nothing Atlanta. Brad Hawk waiting on deck. He will bat second in the inning. First up is third baseman Garrett Atkins, facing Tim Hudson. Atkins a walk and a fly ball to center. Very impressive pitching performance by Tim Hudson. Jammed him. 0-2. And the Rockies, Jeff, doing all this damage on the road offensively, and Huddy's cooled them off. And Clint Hurdle has not had Todd Helton available for the last week and a half. Horrible stomach problem. Very painful. And Todd was hospitalized. Fortunately, everything turned out okay, and he'll come off the disabled list probably this weekend when the Rockies get back home. Here's a swing and a foul. With Todd, the Rockies 8-7, and without him 7-3. What a hitter.
Oh boy, one of the toughest outs in the major leagues. Has been a good hitter for a long time, and not just in that Colorado era.
Francoeur waiting and squeezing out number 1. Brad Hawk coming up next. I'll show you that throw, because you talked about it, Jeff. This is a guy drafted by the Blue Jays as a pitcher, but went to LSU, so you know he's got a good arm.
That's a near perfect throw, too. A one-hop strike to second base. Can hits this ball, and this ball is hit hard. It gets out there in a hurry, but he's got to take a chance there.
Backhanded by Giles. 2 outs. Once again, the tail end of that play.
And I don't want to comment about a catcher running, but even though it's the 3rd out, you still have to take a chance. If you see a ball hit down like that, you take a chance. because it took a perfect throw to get him.
Jason Smith. Well, Tim Hudson has had one outstanding outing this season. That, of course, the 3-hitter in New York. Retired the first 15 that day at Shea. And he has been every bit as impressive tonight.
Oh, boy, I am really impressed. I'll tell you, the way he pitches inside. He has not, when he's going to go inside, none of them have drifted out over the plate. They've stayed in, and they've really tied up the hitters, especially the open stance hitters.
Left field near the line for Langerhans. And Tim Hudson has retired the last 11 Rockies in order. Braves fans settling back in their seats after the stretch here in the 7th inning. A 2-0 lead for Atlanta. And a reminder about what's coming up tonight on Around the South. It airs at 11 p.m. Eastern Time over on FSN South. A breakdown of the NFL draft and what it means to your hometown team. And a reminder, too, about Wednesday night on Around the South, an exclusive interview, and very candid, we may point out, with former teammates and good friends John Smoltz and Tom Glavine. That's coming up on Around the South on Wednesday. Here's a sampling of what you can expect from John Smoltz.
Well, that was the best part. You know, you got car time to and from the golf course. You got cart time to and from the golf holes. And you got all these different opportunities to see how each person's successful. And although I could not pitch like him and he couldn't pitch like me, I saw how he put himself in positions to win more games late in the game because of location and just doing certain things that ended up helping me.
And that will be tomorrow night on Around the South on FSN South. Brian Langerhans, Tim Hudson, Marcus Giles ready to go against the Rockies. Jason Jennings. 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the Braves. No runs, only 1 hit, and no errors for the Rockies. Langerhans with a walk and a single. 2 hits yesterday against the Mets. He's followed that up with getting on base twice here tonight. Jason Jennings has pitched a good game in his own right. The Braves have only of those 7 hits, none for extra bases. A couple of 2-out singles by Giles and Hudson, the difference. Jason Jennings has won 50 games in his Colorado career. And the all-time win record for an individual is 53, held by Pedro Estacio. But he never has been able to duplicate that early success when he was Rookie of the Year.
I wonder how much that pitching in Colorado gets into your mind, where even though you might not address it openly, you get a little gun shy and don't want to throw the ball around the middle of the plate. You're trying to nibble all the time. We talked about that in the scouting report. That can do it to the best of them. If you get out in that light air, you make a good pitch and the ball just keeps going, and next thing you know, it's in the seats. You say, how did that happen?
Strike 3 call. Lange out of there for the second Jason Jennings strikeout.
But he's not nibbling tonight, and this is a pitch that he's started inside and on the corner of the plate. Ryan didn't think so. That was one of those borderliners.
Clint Hurdle, the Colorado manager, calls playing baseball at Coors Field arena baseball. It's hard to argue with him. You see his pitching coach Bob Apodaca. And Clint was telling me last year, we tell our starting pitchers, you just have to outlast the other starting pitcher. And don't worry about the runs you give up. Just you have a better outing than their guy and pitch longer in the game than their guy, and it's a successful start.
Well, I guess that's the way you got to approach it. But boy, I'll tell you, that's taken a couple pitchers' careers down the tubes, and some managers with them.
Look, Mike Hampton, who went out there and just couldn't get anything going, and came to the Braves, and regained that sinker. 2-2. Hudson, we talked about it earlier. Here's Tim pitching well for this Braves team last year. Had his first taste of Coors Field, and it was a very bitter one. He takes a look at strike 3. Well, you talked about it. You see what Hudson's doing tonight. Well, Jeff, this is what happened to him out in Denver last season. He got cuffed around on May the 9th. One of his worst outings of the season. Here's Giles rolling one to short. And quickly go the Braves in the 7th inning. Well, Jason Jennings keeps it a 2-0 game as we head to the 8th. Tim Hudson, the story tonight here at Turner Field, a one-hit shutout as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Chop Talk makes an ideal gift for Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, or any other special occasion. Call 1-877-655-CHOP now to subscribe to Chop Talk, the official monthly magazine of the Atlanta Braves. Luis Gonzalez had 3 hits in the Rockies' win over the Marlins yesterday in Miami. 0 for 2 tonight. In the air to right center. Francoeur and Andrew Jones. It's Andrew. 1 away, and 12 straight retired by Hudson. Danny Ardoin is next up. When Hudson, you see that pitch count there of 80? When Huddy pitched that complete game win at Shea, 97 pitches in 9 innings and a 3-hitter. Ardoin will be called back, and Jamie Carroll, played last year for the Washington Nationals, is coming up to pinch hit.
Jamie Carroll's a good backup type player. Had been with the Expos for a number of years. When I was up there managing, he played for me. This guy knows how to play the game, can run a little bit, puts the ball in play. He's one of those guys that's not an easy out.
And a very good pinch hitter this season. 3 for 4 and a couple of walks. Activity in the Colorado bullpen as the pitcher is due next. That is Ramon Ramirez, a rookie. And another pinch hitter coming out on deck, Ryan Spilborghs. One out, bases empty. 1-2. One of the toughest jobs, sitting on that bench and then being asked to pinch hit against a guy who has got it all working tonight in Tim Hudson.
Well, you know, the tough part is Jason Jennings had the best swings of anybody on the club.
Isn't that the truth?
And he's being pinch hit for. That's, of course, that's the way it goes. Well, that's when I had a rude awakening when I first managed in the National League after having managed on 2 teams in the American League. Come over and then have to make your decisions on the pitcher hitting or a pinch hitter for the pitcher, depending on where the game stood.
Oh, Bonham just dropped out of it. 4 strikeouts for Tim Hudson. 2 up and 2 down. Fans, all 3 of these 4-game ticket packs include a Brave statue giveaway, plus games against the Mets, Cubs, or Red Sox. Guarantee yourself tickets to the most popular games this season with the Braves multi-game plan starting at only $53. 404-577-9100 now, or visit AtlantaBraves.com. Now Spilborghs has been called back, and Miguel Ojeda is going to pinch hit for Jennings. Ojeda, the backup catcher. "13 in a row retired by Tim Hudson." Took a step toward the dugout. He thought he had strike 3.
You can almost read Jason Jennings' mind sitting there in the dugout. Said, I could have done that.
Jennings would have had to have pitched a shutout tonight to get a tie.
Yeah, boy, you're not kidding.
Two coming to Miguel Ojeda. See ya. 5th strikeout for Hudson. His one-hit shutout intact to the bottom of the 8th. Leading Philadelphia 5-2 now in the top of the 7th inning. Willis had allowed just 1 hit through 6 innings tonight. Chicago now with a 1-0 lead over the Pirates in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Houston and Milwaukee 1-1. Carlos Lee has hit a home run for the Brewers, his 11th of the season. Later tonight, Dodgers, Arizona, and San Diego, San Francisco. Here we move to the bottom of the 8th, and Ramon Ramirez coming on to pitch. Colorado rookie picked up his first big league win last Tuesday at Philadelphia in relief. Faces Edgar Renteria. Grounder up the middle, base hit. Second hit tonight for Edgar, and the 8th for Atlanta. The stats on Ramirez: it is his 8th appearance of the season. That victory we talked about, and an ERA of 0 and 9 2/3 innings.
I like this kid's arm. He came over in that trade from the Yankees last year when Sean Chacon went to the Yankees and did such a great job there after struggling here. This kid's got a live arm. You see those numbers.
Over his minor league career, he averaged just about a strikeout an inning. 372 strikeouts and 376 professional innings since signing with the Yankees in March of 2003. 24 years old, out of the Dominican. Chipper at the plate. Andrew on deck. Braves looking for a little insurance here in the 8th inning. Leadoff man aboard. Ojeda, the pinch hit, stays in the game behind the plate. The pitcher, Ramirez, batting 8th.
As we talked about earlier, Bob, when you're watching from that center field camera, you can see the ball moving coming out of the pitcher's hand. And this Ramirez Doesn't have high gun readings, but he's got a lot of action on his fastball. That last ball of Chipper was 87 miles an hour, but the bottom fell out of that pitch.
Three and one.
Also watching his delivery. His delivery is that of a power pitcher. He tucks, he brings his leg up. Very often sinker ballers stand a little taller and then work downhill, and they don't drive with their legs as much as this kid does. He drives like a power over-the-top fastball pitcher.
He's a former shortstop. Walking Chipper Jones. First and second, nobody out. That pushes Edgar Renteria down to second. Show support for your favorite team with officially licensed Major League Baseball merchandise. Log on to MLB.com to order right now. Home plate umpire Lance Barksdale handing out to hurry along the conversation between pitcher and catcher as Andrew Jones comes up. Hasn't hit a home run since April the 19th at Shea off Todd Glavine. A homerless streak of 9 games. And despite that dry spell, he has been responsible this season for nearly 30% of Atlanta's runs. To figure out a total for a player, how many runs they're responsible for, take their runs scored, add RBIs, subtract home runs. And Andrews supplied 29.6% of the Braves offense. In the air to left field, and Holiday. Runners get back. Atlanta putting 8 hits on the board tonight. As Adam LaRoche comes up, here's the way they've been distributed. Top third getting 4, bottom 3 getting 4 hits. So the top 3 getting back out there. Healthy once again with Marcus, Edgar Renteria, and Chipper. And Tim Hudson and Marcus with the RBI hits. Clint Hurdle coming out to make a change. Colorado manager Clint Hurdle making the singular wireless call to the bullpen. Pinch hitting for Atlanta is Brian Jordan. Up there to swing for Adam LaRoche, and facing the new Colorado pitcher. You'll recognize former Brave Tom Martin coming on to work here for Colorado. 12th appearance and a 5.25 ERA. Martin, a Brave in 2004, coming over from the Dodgers, and then started the year with the Braves last season. Appeared in 4 games and was released on April the 15th. First and second, one gone. Infield at double play depth. Jordan skies one to right. Renteria tags and draws the strong throw by Hawk. And that's the second out of this 8th inning. Jordan goes down now 1 for 8 as a pinch hitter this season. One more at bat for Jeff Francoeur tonight. He's 0 for 3. Couple of grounders and a strikeout.
Let's see if they start him with a breaking ball or an off-speed pitch, because they know he's going to be hacking at a thrown ball.
Renteria at second, Chipper at first base. Missed it at the knees. 1 ball, no strikes. Against left-handers, 217. All of his home runs off right-handed pitching so far. Solid shot to center, but a liner that is right at Sullivan. Boy, he hit that ball right on the nose, but right at the center fielder. Braves are denied. We turn our attention to Tim Hudson and his one-hit shutout as we go to the ninth.
The finest leather boots are at Big Phil's Boots.
It calls for a late summer sacrifice. In schoolyards across the Southland, the season is reset. It's time to kick off the quest for a championship. It begins with practice, where coaches mold students into heroes and tolerate junior varsity. Under the stifling southern sun, these young gladiators toil not for a big payday, but for the love of the game and the high school popularity. Whether in big cities or small towns, in the South, dreams are made on fourth down. The game is finite. 4 quarters, 100 yards, 22 men. But the spirit of Southern high school football is limitless. My name is Pat Summerall, and this is My South.
My name is Burt Reynolds, and you're watching Turner South, your South.
Jason Jennings of Colorado limited the Braves to just 2 runs in 7 innings. But Tim Hudson has outpitched him. A one-hit shutout through 8, 90-pitch gem, but 1 more mile to go. Leadoff man Corey Sullivan. 0 for 3 tonight. 2 good defensive plays have been made against him. Renteria behind the bag to glove his ground ball in the 1st inning, and then Marcus Giles made a diving catch on his liner in the 3rd inning. Tim Hudson, 3 outs away from his 2nd win of the season. And if he can complete the shutout, it will be his 1st in an Atlanta uniform and the 9th of his major league career. Tim Hudson also has a one-hitter in his history. That was against the White Sox when he was pitching for Oakland in the 2000 season, the year that Tim Hudson won 20 games for the A's. He pitched a one-hitter against the White Sox on August the 28th, 1-3-0. The 2-2 hit hard but fouled at first base.
Well, it never fails. Having a Doubleday set this up so that when you're trying to get a classic or a gem going, you've got to go through the toughest part of the order.
The 1-2-3 hitters for the Rockies in the 9th inning. The payoff pitch. Giles with the pick, and there's one gone.
He almost overran this ball. He had to backhand it behind his hip. Good hands. That ball might have hooked right at the last minute. It's a left-hander hitting, and it was a ball that was hit hard. Nice play by Marcus.
Shortstop Clint Barnes. 0 for 3 tonight and 1 for 9 lifetime against Hudson. Clint's been struggling. He was just 2 for 15 in the Florida series. Tim Hudson pours in strike 1 to even the count. Matt Holliday, the on-deck hitter. This will be the 100th pitch tonight for Hudson, and it's in the air to right field in Francoeur. 2 gone. And now this Monday night crowd of 19,212 rising as one to cheer Tim Hudson home. 2 outs in the 9th inning. Matt Holliday. A walk sandwiched between a strikeout and a lineout.
And to this point, the only hit against him, the opposing pitcher, Jason Jennings.
And a solid hit back in the third inning. And the defense behind him to come up with other hit-saving plays.
Well, it's a highlight film tonight with the entire defense for the Braves.
Francoeur going back to haul it in, and Tim Hudson has a one-hit shutout. His first shutout in a Brave uniform and the 9th of his major league career. Tim Hudson is our Home Depot player of the game, and he had it all working from the first inning.
You just watch this stuff that he is exhibiting here. We talk about as having electric stuff. He had electric stuff and outstanding control. He threw the ball where he wanted it. He stayed on the inner half to right-handers and left-handers, kept the ball down, only went up when he wanted to.
We will be chatting with Tim Hudson when we return to Turner Field.